How you doing, guys? This is Hybridsteel of the Rusty Nuts Garage. Thank you very much for joining me in today's video. So, what have we got on the plan today? Now, like I said, all the cars that are featured in this season come from one video suggestions. I asked you to put a comment down in the box underneath a certain video, and basically any person who did became part of Season 3. Today is Red Panda King. He asked for a 1935 resto truck. And we found one, and I'm going to be completely honest, I like it. I like its style, I like the curves in the side panels, I like this. I'm not a big fan about this thing. You know, yes, okay, obviously this was used as a tow truck before, but, you know, I want it to look like a truck. A thing that you could take down the grocery store. I want you to so you can go and do your shopping, chuck it all in the back, rip it down a road, and be all good. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take this bad boy apart. We're going to make it look good. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the graphics. We'll figure that out when we get there. So let's get on. 1935 Ford truck. Booyah. Now, because this is a resto mod, basically the idea is to keep it a resto mod. I'm not going to try and restore it back to the good old days. I'm going to keep it as it is. And the reason why is because, well, at the end of the day, it just means that, you know, it's still got the punch that a truck would have, which is good. I like the steering wheel. I like this. This is pretty. It's very, very pretty. I like it. Okay, so we've taken the bodywork apart. That's fine. We're going to try and clean up as much as we can, but obviously because this is an old truck, parts are going to be a little bit hard to find. So what we will do is we'll take all the old stuff off. We'll straighten it out, and what we'll do is we'll make a template of each bit. We can put the templates in storage just in case someone else comes around with a 35 Ford truck or a 36 or a 34. You never know, but we have the ability to sort of mess around with panel work then. So that's a good thing for us. Thankfully, this came with bits and pieces. We can work it out from there. It's all good. Now we get to take out the underneath of the car, make it all like empty, get rid of the engine, and then start fixing, because it's going to take some time. Thankfully, Steve and Danny have absolutely nothing to do, and the bodywork's all theirs. So while you're enjoying the little montage that's going on, as you can see, taking apart the car, and it's all good, don't forget, hitting the like, subscribe, and notifications button is probably one of the best ways to support any channel on YouTube. And the same can be said about this channel. So if you've got a spare 20 seconds whilst this montage and the music is playing in the background, all beautifully showing you the car being taken apart, don't forget hitting that like button, subscribing, and doing all the stuff to help this channel grow is most appreciated. Now back to the cheesy music and all the stuff that I do to make these videos look a bit more pretty. I hope you're still there. 2 thumbs up if you are. Rightio, so that is basically the entire undercarriage, all of it taken apart. Not too much to take out now, so shouldn't be too bad. Well, there we go. The entire truck is now stripped down. It's worse than previously hoped for. I mean, these old trucks, this is a 1935. You got to think this truck is ancient. You know, it's nearly 100 years old and it's still alive. So, yeah, I mean, when you say it like that, it seems like a really long time ago, doesn't it? So what we'll do, we'll chuck this over into Steve and Danny. They can go through it, make sure it's done properly, because I don't want to blast holes through the chassis. I don't want to just mess this up. I want this to look good. So we're going to clean this up, do it properly, do a proper good restoration job. Okay, so whilst that's over with Danny and Steve, they're going to do fabrication, body, you know, as said, we're going to make some templates of the stuff we've got, because we need it, basically. So I've got a battery. I'm going to need to buy a battery. We got to separate the suspension, separate the rims, because they need cleaning up as well, in all honesty. Now obviously we've got to do all the boring bits, so I won't bore you with those bits, but I've got to fix all the stuff we've got if we can. If not, I'm going to make a big shopping list, order in some stuff. Got to put the engine on the rack, and then we've got to go through that as well. That's going to take some time. So yeah, with the magic powers of editing, boom, and we're done. Okay, so little bit of an update. You know, it's been, for me, a couple of days For you guys, a couple of seconds. But, you know, did you enjoy the break? Music, yep, all good, fantastic. So, what we've done is we've been through all of the parts that we took off the car. We've repaired them as best we can. If not, we're going to have to buy some new stuff. But I prefer to go through a list a little bit later, and we'll be alright. Next is the engine. So, the block came out really well. We sanded it all off. We blasted it. We prepped it. We did it properly. It's nice. It's actually not a bad block. Downside, everything else was rot. So, we got to buy an entirely new engine, which sucks. But I was assured when I had this phone call with Red Panda King, I can't believe I have to say people's names like this, but yeah, when I was talking to him, money is not an object. You know, it's something that he just fritters about. You know, $100,000 here, $100,000 there. I think that's why they called him the king. But yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to bop the engine back together. And then hopefully the chassis will be done in a couple of days. They are taking their time. We have made some moulds and bits and pieces, so it's taken extra time. Plus side, it's getting there. You know, the evolutionary tunnel is being dug, so to speak. So I'm going to get off and order the rest of this engine. Thankfully, we've got all the parts on file. We just go click, 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 and it's all good. So the next time you see me, this engine will be done. There we go. Engine, all good, all done, all dusted. Fan-dabby doozies, what I have to say. They actually came together really well. As said, block was really solid. All the parts we banged into it fit perfectly, no problems, no screws bent, no de-threading, no nothing. Good engine, solid as a block. I know, it's another pun. It's funny though, isn't it? Anyways, so the car is actually, well, the bodywork is actually over here in the wash. Basically, it's been straightened up. It looks good. We used a blue undercoat for this because I have an idea for a paint job, right? So because it's a resto mod, obviously it doesn't matter about like or the origin of color. So because of that, I'm going to keep it as blue, but I want to add I want to add some shading in it. I want to do some nice paint to it. So I figured we'd come over and give it a wash and actually have a look at it first. And it's come out really well. So really liking it. Hopefully this one does really work together. So we're going to chuck this back inside and then we're going to start working on it and putting it all back together. Fabulous. Rightio, so like we always do, we look at this and just go, work is done. So what we have done here is we've put all the wheels back on, suspension and bits and pieces, just to basically make sure that everything fits. Like I said in a previous video, when we actually do this, what we're doing is we're measuring up the gap between the chassis and the actual wheel. So if we have to put the body kit in and it's a little bit off, or it's just too fat one side, then we can slim it down, poke it in, and it all fits properly. As long as we do symmetry on both sides of the car, it's never a worry. And that's the reason why we do this. It fits, so it sits. And we're going to assume you all have cats that do that. And you probably don't all have cats, but you know what I mean. It fits, it sits. Awesome. Right, so as you can see, boom, powerful engine. It's gonna be good. It's getting, oh yeah, it's actually quite exciting. We're building this and it's really looking good. So next on the agenda is to put all the panels back on, make sure it all fits, making sure it clips in properly. It all put, yeah, you know what I mean. That's what we're doing. It should be okay. Okay, so we've got the exhaust on, got the engine in, it's all good, and all we've got to do now is put the drive shaft on, the gearbox, and the starter. Now I can't remember if I bought a starter. Probably haven't, which means I've got to go down the shop and get one, which will suck. On the plus side, it means I get a new one instead of using old parts and whatever. So it's good and bad all at the same time. There we have it. Apart from interior, but it's looking right. As I said, we took the crane off and we put a flatbed in there. We do still have the cranes. When we go and give the car back to Red, he can put the crane in if he likes, or he can just lay it in the bed. And if he does, you know, if you want to help somebody out and they're broken down and sort of, all you would have to do is literally just lift it up and then clip it into place, and there you go. You got yourself like a 100-ton winch. I can't even remember the size of the winch, but it's pretty big. Alright, so looking good. Now what we got to do now is we got to run it over to the test path, go through the tyres, make sure all the wheels are aligned, headlights, and all good. So that's where we're going now. Sounding mean. It's all good. Well, there we go. All tested, all good. Next thing to do is to paint it. I'm not going to show you the paint job, you're going to see it at the end. Well, there we go. Red Panda King, your 35 Ford Resto mod is available. Check this out. Well, hope you guys enjoyed this. See you in the next one. Peace out, have fun, enjoy everything you guys do. Boom! Fist bump to you.